哇，超漂亮！
我害怕了，没有系安全措施，没有，完全没有。把包背前面，别掉下东西。这样，slow，thank you。慢点，慢点，哦，这么快啊！ 咱们排在那儿。
So any pile of sand, you have to focus on. By the way, there is no speed limit. No speed limit on this road. Siwa road, no speed limit.
Hello, welcome to Egypt.
我的脚趾发进去了，哇，我的腿好咸。它这个咸是那种辣舌头的咸。是的。嗨，拜拜。延寿出没。延寿。爬上来吧。能下去吗？ 些，我应该不是吧？有都得。拜拜。See.
Hello. هو ليه انت بتحكي
Nice, nice. Oh.
Enjoy your fly, everybody. حوالين غير الوسطى.
This hotel Ufambik.
Almost.
Nice to see you. Wallahi, I hope to see you again.
Bye
Very,
bye.
very kind people. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Have a safe trip.
هي بالعنينة.
Madam, take a picture for your husband. Thank you.